Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placement. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Pisces, is number 60, and it says taking up arms. So if you see the picture, there is a robot-like figure with so many arms out here, so many arms out here with some kind of a weapon in one or two of the arms. A bold figure. There is also a flower in the third hand, and the fourth hand is a very meditative pose. The fourth hand is a meditation pose, right? And this person is standing on a turtle. Now, turtle energy is all about safety, security with their big shell on the back. So you might be working towards safety, security of maybe your community, maybe you're in the military or something about protection, protective services, police and things like that. You might be protecting the community, you might be joining some kind of civil services or military services. That's just for some of you, but this is an energy of protection, feeling protected or keeping or working towards protecting you and your India, ones, your community, your country. And this is slow movement, slow-paced movement, thoughtful, using, turtle is known as a very wise because they haven't evolved. They've been around for thousands of years and they have not changed. So something about ancient practices that you could be using for protection, maybe sage and things like that. But it also could be protection of the earth because these are earthy and of course water based. So you could be protecting the environment and the ocean, the waters. Maybe you're into environmental protection and things like that. This is also very spiritual connection, like Torah charms are used in a lot of spiritual practices for bringing good luck, for bringing resilience, for standing in your truth, for standing strong, and for keeping things easy-paced, like slow-paced, moving one step at a time, not rushing, not impulsivity. And also, connection to the world, the connection to the connection to the divine, to the angel, to spiritual practices and things like that. And if you see in the third hand of this robotic figure, there is a lotus flower. Lotus is again muddy waters, thriving in muddy waters, right? So there is something like balancing your spiritual practices. You might be incorporating that into your day-to-day life. This is also cleansing, detoxing your mind, heart, and soul, because lotus stands for purity, bringing in purity, clean thoughts, mindful thinking in your heart and mind space. This is also very not getting, beat up by the murkiness or muddiness around you. It's like, when we experience challenges, that brings out the best of us. You might be into that spirit where challenges are actually shaping you into the better version of you. And there is also something like lotus also stands for enlightenment, meditation, wisdom at its best. This is also not being distracted by situations around that could be detracting you, like not getting detracted from your core values, not getting bogged down by negativity around you, not letting that influence you. So you're staying put with your values. Maybe you're practicing some sort of spiritual practices of not allowing any negativity to get to you. But the first two hands that are holding some kind of weapon, it's not really about taking a weapon unless you're in the military or protective services. This is about standing in your own power. It's like you might be standing up for your values, for your ideas. You might be standing up against any kind of unfairness or injustice that you might have experienced, or you feel you are in unfair situations, or maybe, protecting people that are in unfair situations. You could be into law enforcement even. It's like when you see the deities, like this is like a little bit of that kind of an image where, weapons are seen. The those are for the protection of mankind. This is for standing up against, any kind of negative influences, cutting through illusions. This is not actually using the weapons, but doing it in an empowered way, standing for yourself in an empowered way. Something like what? Having peaceful protests or something like that, which, and that reminds me of peaceful protest. If you have heard of Greta Thunberg, for those of you who have not, look up. She was a student when she started this activism. She was somewhere in Europe. I can't remember exactly the country, but the European girl in school. She was protecting against climate malpractices. To protect the environment, to protect the climate. And she was a student at that point in time, and she started up with her product. So that was very impressive, and that's what comes to mind. So this is irrespective of what age you are in, this is starting of something, protesting against something in a fair and silent way. You could be like, maybe you have signed some agreement which is unfair. Maybe, sometimes, especially for media people, they sign contracts which, feel like they have been taken advantage of. You might be, standing up for yourself like, no, I'm not going to sign this. Or it could be, you could be like just, facing some kind of a wrongdoing, maybe in corporate, maybe you're in corporate, maybe you've seen, or maybe you're a lawyer that's, fighting for the rights of companies, or you're seeing some wrongdoing, you've been wronged in some way and you're fighting for that. But this is like having the courage to do so, having the nerve, the backbone to do so. The next card you have, Pisces, is house 2. And it says physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. So there is a bird out here with a twig. Maybe you're extending an olive branch. There is a heart out your heart waist, which has the flower. Rose stands for beauty. Fragrance, it stands, and look at the heart. Half of the heart is like a rib, right? It's transparent, it's open. So this is clean-heartedness, open-heartedness towards building wealth. Second house is the house in general. The second house is the house of Taurus in the zodiac, right? And that stands for land, things related to land, for security, homes, possessions. Even it could be elements, metals that you might be interested in, the gold or diamond or platinum and things like that. But for you, Pisces, for some of you, the second house could be the house of Aries, and Aries ruler is Mars, which is called to action. So you might be, Mars currently activating your houses of investing into the right places, your time, energy, and your resources, whether it's creating financial portfolios, buying new homes, land, growing things on the land, participating in activities related to land and home. It could be, and because Taurus energy is Venus rule, so you could be into fashion, beauty, land care, decoration, fashion, clothes, and things like that. Maybe you're starting a businesses that will go a long way. Maybe you're investing into situations, businesses, or funds that will give you long-term gains. This could also be redefining how you spend money. How you account for your own expenses, or where you're investing into, being accountable for that, or having a book that actually tells you where you're spending, what your spending habits are. You could be reshaping that. This could also be practices related to beauty industry. You could be selling products or investing into your own self, own beauty, own fashion sense, own wardrobe and lifestyle in general. You could be thinking about those, maybe growing plants, flowers, bouquets. Green energy comes, green energy, renewable energy, green thumb. You could be investing into those areas as well, like growing your own food, or participating in local markets and things like that. This is also a lot of, bird. You could be investing, you could be buying birds as pets, or investing into environments, looking after birds in some way, maybe veterinarian directions or professions. This can also be a flower business. Maybe you're marriage, what's that called? Event planner for weddings. So growing flowers or flower arrangements, new interest in reading up about plants and agriculture and how to care for birds, animals, and plants. That's also in this, right? Cleaning up the environment, creating a secure environment for the next generations. This is also possessions, reconsidering your possessions, buying certain things and releasing certain things from your house that are old, or maybe redefining or doing some DIY projects and refurbishing old stuff or upselling them, things that you don't need. But something that will enhance your finances, something that will add to your material success, maybe investing in businesses, restoring in businesses, or working on your own self and health. When we focus on our own health and well-being, holistic health and well-being, mental health and well-being, that enhances our self-worth, the way we look, the way we talk, the way we express ourselves, and what means to us in this lifetime, working on those areas, whether leaving jobs for more things that, or professions that make you more money or bring you more happiness. So those are the kind of areas that could be attracting attention from you. This can also be participating in activism or protests, which for VIGRIs, there are a lot of people that protest because they feel that their services are not valued correctly. So you could be participating in protests of that kind. Next, you have Pisces is card number 3, and it says the past. So if you look at this picture, there is a woman, modern woman, modernly dressed, and she's walking towards this, loops. Looks like time capsules or time machines or something like that. So, and of course, this is like in the darkness, in the night time, you could be revisiting the past in some way. And the past, not for bad reasons, not to regret over something or to live in the past. But this is just about what you have learned from the past. You could be revisiting those things that you learned, like how people came to your path to, for a reason, for a season, and those kind of things. You could be looking at past activities and albums and pictures just to pick up some hints from that. Or you could be visiting some past things, projects, hobbies that you left off because you had no time or you were distracted in other things. You could be meeting old people, not older people, the people that you've met in the past, maybe some school teachers, college teachers that have mentored you in some way, or past people that were your peers in companies. Because you're the 12th house. In general, Pisces collective is the 12th house energy of karmic lessons, and you are the mutable water sign. And water, it has memory, it holds things. So for you, Pisces, we're talking about depth over here. We're talking about fluidity. We're talking about adaptation and intuition, right? Because you're very fluid in that ways, kind of shapeshifters. You know how the environment is and what's needed out of you in that environment. And you kind of blend into that with, switching up things very fast or adapting very fast to people and environments. That's the fluid nature plays out in Piscean energy in general. You're also very intuitive. You're ruled by Jupiter. Even in some cases, Moon also is a reflective of your general nature, of reflection, of intuition, of feeling the room, of visiting the past in your dream state or in your waking state, maybe some visions that you're getting. And a lot of people, in general, countries also, in general, they like to preserve the past through, architecture. They keep repairing it. They keep restoring historical monuments and things like that because they want to preserve the culture, and that's the main point for even travel and tourism. So going to the past, preserving the past brings in money for the countries. So in that kind of way, you could be picking up something from your childhood that you wanted to do, or you could in general be studying up about your family history and the wisdom that you have accrued through your DNA, things that happen to us and for us because we are part of a certain family or part of a certain DNA structure. So some of you could be, going to your hometowns or homes, or in general visiting places that you have been in the child while you were growing up, just because we get some inspirations from that, or we want to see how those cities look like now after years of not visiting them. Maybe you're visiting ancestral homes and cleaning that up and, finding some hints, cues, or getting inspired in some way. Sometimes, visiting old places that we've been to inspires us, gives us the future life direction. It changes our internal emotional landscape in a different way. There's also kind of, we could be reading up about history or some historical events that happened in the past and getting some inspiration or hints out of that. It's a very nice reflective of the past energy, like, oh, this happened for that and this happened to shape that kind of an energy over here. And the last card for today, you have Pisces, is the moon. This is major arcana, but it's in the reverse for you. And number 9 over here is coming through prominent with this energy. Now, if you look at the card, you're seeing it in the reverse, right? In the upright, it's like logs lead out in a way, creating a staircase effect. These are not really staircases. These are logs from big to small that are arranged in a way that gives you an illusion of circus. You've seen those illusion already going round and round and round, and you look at it, your head starts to spin that kind of an energy over here. These logs are full of, branches and thorns, whatever this is. So the road is not easy. It's not a smooth road to the moon. It's, of course, not even today. You have to take that rocket and go into the moon. And it's not easy to be there on the moon. It's like you're floating around. So exactly that energy. But here for you, you have it in the reverse. This is major arcana. It's in the reverse thing. And that's a good thing, because in the upright, it's like things not being clear, things being foggy, your brain fog, not understanding things, not understanding why it's happening, or maybe fearful of things. Sometimes our heart starts to race because we don't understand what's going on. It's the anxiety playing on because we don't know facts and figures and things like that. So it makes us a little emotionally unsure, unpredictable times. We don't have the clarity where we are going, what's happening, what are people doing and saying around us for those kind of feelings that we have at times, which doesn't allow us to make proper decisions because we don't have the facts. So it's in the reverse is a good energy, which means that you're now understanding things. Things are becoming clear. Maybe the things, those small prints that we forgot to read or that we did not remember are now being made clear to us. We might have signed on contracts without reading the whole fine print, and now it's being made aware to us. And people telling us that you signed it, you read it, you signed it, but we don't remember. And we have, we forget or we get deluded. For some of you, this could be like things being made aware to you. Like, oh, you know what? This person did this. And you're like, what? I didn't even know about it. So it could be that, or it could be some, sometimes people just say the wrong things. They spread the wrong things. Or we are told the wrong things. There are cover-ups. And then you find out something else. So it's that kind of an energy. So I feel that you are now being made aware of a lot of things, whether it's your behavior pattern, your insecurities, or something within you or outside to you. And for that, I feel sometimes when you're in a dilemma, to write down things as it is. I've been advised so many times. I've been, something that is disturbing, like when we come across or we are sad about something, it's always a good idea to write down exactly what happened and how things played out. Because when we go back, it helps us give perspective to why we reacted in a certain way or why things played out in a certain way. So journaling, especially those emotions, even when our emotions are stored up, journaling is a very good idea to write down our emotions and what played out, so that in the future, when the fog lifts and when more information is made available, we can figure out like how we acted and what we were feeling at that point in time. So it helps us gain clarity on our own behavior at times. Yeah, so, coming out of confusing times, confronting your fears, facing the reality, coming out of la la land, being honest with ourselves. And, sometimes when we come out of that route, we stop wearing our rose-tinted glasses, as they say, when we learn about the truth, when we become honest and fair with ourselves and the world. There's, those disclosures, those major aha moments, they change our life direction. There are a lot of breakthroughs that happen, at a small level or at a large level. This could be people coming out with, understanding the cover-ups and opening it to the world. Like maybe some financial loss we encountered and you don't know what happened, and there is a cover-up like, mismanagement. And now you're like, oh my God, that's why it happened. And we, there was a news about something and we thought it was this way, but this is what happened. But when the truth comes out, you know your future direction, you know where not to invest, where to invest, and things like that, could be coming up for you. And these are general energies, Pisces. So let me know in the comments below how these energies are playing out into your lives. Just helps me connect better with the energy of people here at Amaranth. So who can judge your messages, Pisces? So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.